Hi, my name is Bridget Kimsey. I'm a yoga teacher, integrative healthcare provider and practitioner, author and scientist. And this is my yoga class with the wall. So we're leveraging the wall, the ground, ourselves, maybe a block or two if you need it, and helping us with a general yoga practice. This is just a suggestion and you can always modify to what works for you. But the wall can be have a restorative element to it. It can be supportive if you have balance issues. It can be working on your alignment if you're already well versed in yoga and are just checking to have something help with alignment in the hips or the shoulders. It's a lovely practice to practice when you want maybe some more activity but just need some support. So let's get started. You'll see my layout is a little different. I have a corner, so I'll be orienting myself in different ways so you can see me, but just following along the best that you can. And let's get going. This is about an hour class. And if you have any questions, always feel free to email or be in touch. And I'm glad that you're here. All right, let's get started. So coming towards your space, you want to have a wall that, if it works, is pretty flush. No objects on the wall, but of course if you have just a door, we'll start there. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm at about the middle of my mat and I'm getting my buttocks really close to the wall so there's no space. If that's uncomfortable, you might have some padding or bend the knees a bit, and you might not hold as long as me. So let's go ahead and come on in, so I'm getting myself really snug in there. I'm also making sure that my head feels comfortable. Hopefully you can hear me. All right, so here we are in legs up against the wall. I'm gonna take my thumbs into the crease of where the thigh meets the hip and just give a little nice massage right in there. Maybe even massage down the legs, thinking of muscle. I love, for me, legs up the wall works well. I understand not for everyone, but I do like it in that I can feel, as you open the arms, just letting the body and the spine settle in with the ground and gravity. Maybe bringing the shoulders up to the ears, squeeze the hands and let it go. Shoulders up to the ears, squeeze the hands and let it go. Shoulders up to the ears, squeeze the hands and let it go. Maybe feeling the belly, the ribs and chest fill with breath, and then all releasing. You are always welcome to stay here longer. And then just get into the feet, flexing and pointing the toes, the ankles a few times. You could circle the feet. You might even take the arms above you if that's not too much for the shoulders. You could lengthen a good morning stretch Softening the elbows if your shoulders are okay. You are welcome to stay here or maybe massaging the scalp. Massaging the jawline. Bringing the hands over the heart. Keeping one hand at the heart, one hand on the belly. Sinking into this time. Your breath is space. Maybe letting outside worries, troubles, just be outside the room. Opening the arms again. We're just going to have the palms come down, rotating arm bones all the way into the hands, back and forth. Taking this right leg and go ahead and opening it out to the side. So this may be a place where you need some support, whether it's a block or your hand. For some, the leg may come all the way down, and for others, not so much. We're going to help that leg back up. You can use both arms to help with that. Pause here, pressing into the thighs. Feeling length through the back of the neck. And then going to the other side. So I'm actually going to, if you notice my elbow on the left hand, the upper arm and the elbow are going to support the leg. It's a nice way to use the arm. Allowing the collarbones to stay open, allowing the leg to be heavy. Following your breathing. And gently working that leg back up. And just going back and forth with the feet maybe. I'm going to soften the knees, bringing them in gently. Folding in. Breathing into the lower back. And walking the legs back up. Bring the elbows by the ribs and let the shoulder blades sink down and the arms fall down. Maybe exhale, press the palms to the ceiling, but feel your shoulder blades still sinking in. Even if the elbows bend, to start thinking of lengthening and then coming back. Exhale, lengthening. Belly sinking down. Excuse me. Inhale and exhale. You might even get into the fingers, the hands, side to side. And then just bringing those hands into the heart. Maybe walking these legs back in one at a time. And And here's the wall. Give a nice little pressure, the feet in the wall. Maybe opening the legs out to the side. And again, you could have other support, or you could use your own body as support. My upper arms, my elbows grounded, anchored into my mat, and my hands just gently supporting into a straddle position. Taking a few breaths here, feeling the ground and the wall and your body supporting you. Good, we are walking those legs back, coming back in, one at a time, sinking in. And now bringing the soles of the feet together. So don't worry how much your knees open or how far the heels come down. You can also support, if you don't want them coming down too far, I'm hooking my thumb and first finger a little bit underneath the bottom portion of the calf. Maybe then I feel secure enough to come a little bit further or have support in another way. Good, bringing the legs together. Of course, in any of these, you can take longer. Coming into a bit of a twist. We are walking, you're walking on the wall. You are bringing your legs all the way over to your left side. You are welcome to stay here. And as you're ready, coming into a twist, you could bring that arm up and over, looking up or towards your bent knees. You can also, play around again with what feels good for you. Don't forget you have the wall there, giving you a little bit more support. And also for those thinking of alignment, helping to get a sense of where you are in space. Always coming back to your breathing. Walking the legs back up. Moving them along, allowing your hands and arms to help you. And again, maybe starting in that fetal position. And then if you have the support for your head, taking that top arm over. And again, adjusting with the legs. Good, and making your way back. So maybe just letting the legs back into our starting position. And we're just going to bend the left knee and the right leg is coming over, getting into the hip in the number 4. And again, if you notice, I'm flexing my foot on the wall. You don't have to. You can kind of see what works for you. It may feel good, and then it may become more and more increased sensation and you wanting to back away. going to the other side, and again, lengthening. Maybe just go ahead, rotating, lengthening the legs, and then walking that right leg in, bringing the left ankle bone on the bottom of right thigh, coming in as much or as little as you'd like. And again, you might start, maybe it feels good to flex the foot. Maybe that's a bit too much. Good, and coming up out of that, and once again, lengthening, maybe bringing the arms overhead again. Broadening, let the limbs be heavy and soft. And we're gonna roll on over to one side, so walking the feet down, coming over, and keep going. All right. So again, I'm going to orient myself a few different ways. So just following along, so hopefully you can see, and I can also demonstrate well. I am facing a wall. And so from here, just circling around, massaging, going the other way, and maybe just sitting back for a moment. Full breath in, full breath out. You are welcome to stay here, or an option is to be a little closer to the wall, bringing your arms up and just getting a little more length. Good, and then we're all going to sit back up. Taking a pause here in a variation on hero. Rolling the shoulders back a few times. Nice breath in, nice breath out. So if it works for you, you're going to have your legs facing the wall. And we're going to look at cat-cow and then bird dog. So if you are here, and again, it may take a little trial and error, getting yourself set up and comfortable. So I'm going to go ahead, my legs are about hip width apart, my hands about shoulder width. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Let the head and neck go. Inhale, open. And exhale, round. Let the head and neck go. Good, and then from here, you might be able to help use the wall by, as you get comfortable, taking this left leg, and as you can see, I need to get more space. So just playing around with it, working your way into a position, or maybe feeling where again, the leg is coming right out of the hip, the toes are down, out through the length of the head as well. You get a really nice sense, maybe where your hips are. And if you would like, opposite arm to leg, and I can say for myself that having this support from the wall feels a lot different than when I do this on my own. It really requires a bit more effort in muscles that I think I was not turning on usually. Good. And coming down. Take a break if you'd like. We're setting up for the other side. Good. We're going to come back into table. We're going to go ahead with the right leg. Really think of where the right arm, the left leg is, feeling supported. And really getting into pressing in. You can really feel the inner thigh, maybe engaging through the core. And if it feels comfortable, other arm, opposite arm. Remembering your breathing. Good, and just coming down. Sitting back, rocking a little side to side. Any variation of child's pose. I tend to be a big one for one fist on top of the other. So this may or may not work for you, but you could try inclined plank with the wall behind you. So you're just sort of seeing what feels right for you. I'm going to keep my legs together, and I'm just going to press my heels in a little bit. It's giving me that extra feedback up through. And again, you can lower the knees. I'm having to walk my hands back. Just it's really giving me a lot of information. Good. Also helping for me at least to check in if I'm putting more weight on the left or the right leg. Now you could move right into downward dog. This may not work for you. Maybe going through table. My heels are not coming down, but I can at least maybe play with the wall for a little feedback. I'm bicycling, pedaling my heels, and then I'm just kind of sinking in a little bit. Letting the head and neck go. So what might happen if you peel up that left leg and inch it up along the wall? Is that a pleasant experience? Is it not? Take a break at any time. I'm going to bring us into the other side, bringing that leg down. And again, trying with the other side. Maybe seeing, I'm always curious of the differences in myself. Again, I should say, making sure you really feel secure with your mat. We're just going to bend the knees. And coming back down, and since you worked with that wall, maybe bringing the toes to the wall. I actually find that a little comforting. Bringing the arms behind you. Full breath in, full breath out. And let's just sit up for a moment. So as you're sitting up, you could rest back against the wall. You could even go a little step further with reclining hero. So if I have my knees open and big toes touching, and I feel the wall behind me, I can kind of decide, I'm going to pick up my pelvis and bring my buttocks into the insides of my feet. And again, you can kind of see, now my head isn't perfect for sure, but I'm starting with the legs and just letting them soften, letting my pelvis soften. And then maybe I might take it a step further by coming a little forward and then continuing to go back. So again, finding a way that is supportive for your body today, and each day can definitely feel different. What I personally like with the wall is having the ability to feel my left and right having support, knowing where I need to lend more or less support, and then coming back, maybe a brief falling forward, sweeping breath in, sweeping breath out. Good, and then from here, coming back to sit up, and depending where the wall is for you, you might take dolphin. So different ways with the wall to use dolphin. I'll show a front view. So I often will have holding on to bicep, triceps, hands in front. You could keep with that, or maybe you want to have the palms down and the wall in front of you. You could have the hands together. I'm gonna see where I'm at today. But I'm still gonna mark with holding on bicep, triceps, bringing the forearms down, interlacing fingers, and having that feedback from the wall to give me a little bit of support. I could also try with just bringing the hands down, and for me at least, feeling that middle finger touching the wall. So you could take just a brief dolphin of just sitting back on the heels. You could bring yourself up. Maybe shaking the head yes or no, only if that feels okay for your neck and body. Good, and then when you're ready, just coming down, taking a pause once again. Full breath in, full breath out. Looking forward, we're going to move into an inclined plank. So once again, if it works for you to work with the wall, you can. You can also always come away from the wall if you're needing a break. But if that worked for you, getting set up, so again, bringing a little bit of strength, the heels together, feeling them evenly working. I have a tendency of pressing more into one leg than the other. Coming down for chaturanga. Pausing here, and then coming up. Oh dear. So you have to kind of, you can see my feet are not very long against there. All right. So yes, coming forward, and then just coming into cobra. Good. And coming down, we'll come up into cobra again. I'm dovetailing on that front body opening we looked at with hero. So if that wasn't working for you, making sure you don't overdo it. Good. And we're coming back again. Good. So looking at lunge, you might go ahead with the right leg forward. So now you have great support all around you. Definitely feel free to use that. So let's go ahead and first just bring that right leg forward. And again, here you are, you have support. So if you've ever wanted to make sure, right ankle's behind the front and back knee, letting that tailbone, I found it really nice that if I engage a little bit of the buttock, a little bit of forward, that can be a nice way to help release the hip flexor. Let it go. And again, engage, buttock, sitting up tall, and let it go. If you'd like to come forward, and that isn't an angry feeling for the hip flexor, you're coming back and coming forward. Good. You could, here we are, using the wall to just give us a little extra support. And coming back. If at any point, take a break. So going a bit further with this lunge, I'm coming into the wall, and I'm going to take, again, still working with the left leg. Again, and this might be where you do have a little bit of a towel or padding underneath. I have some good padding already underneath of me, so I'm feeling okay. But again, some person, it might be all the way back there. This is where I'm at today. So, and this may not be something that works for you, but it's a nice way to leverage the wall. Good. And of course, always holding on, coming down. So coming out of this, notice I'm putting my toes in the ground, or toes in the wall, and I'm just inching my way a little bit so it's not too prickly on the knee. Coming forward, I'm just lengthening that out. I'm going to take an easy downward dog without the wall. Just allowing my body, myself to kind of move around. Let's try that sequence on the other side. So starting with table, if you want to go ahead and bring the left leg forward. And again, you have the wall. And I'm thinking of starting with letting the tailbone drop a little, belly flows in, lifting tall. And as I come forward, like maybe half an inch, little, engage that right glute. And let it go. Engage the right glute. Let it go. Engage the right glute. And let it go. And coming forward. Like the wall allows me to focus on some other things. Still working with balance, but just not quite as preoccupied. Coming forward. Good. And back. We're going to come forward. And again, bringing the arms up. And coming all the way back. Good. So if you would like to try that again, just knowing your own body, listen to those little nonverbal cues your system may be giving you. So I'm kind of inching my foot up against the wall. And I'm noticing one side is more intuitive than the other. So I think actually one side feels a little bit more open, so it's a little confusing. But that's a good thing. I can, at least for me, I get excited and like, wow, I didn't know that. So here we are, just opening a bit more. I really am engaging this leg still, so I feel supported. And of course, use the wall for support. You can have it wherever. Taking a breath. Good, and coming out of that, you're gonna lengthen down, 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 and then go ahead, bringing yourself back into table, one leg, the other leg, and maybe just moving in to a releasing downward dog. to use the wall, we're just coming into an incline plank. Good, you can even imagine the wall behind you, getting both legs engaged. And we are coming on down. We are coming on up. And you're coming all the way back into downward dog. This can also be child's pose or puppy stretch. Let's walk the hands and feet together. So here you are. What I guess I'll show it from this first side, is if you come with your buttocks and my legs, again, making sure you feel stable with your mat. I'm coming over, so there's about 16 inches from the wall to my heels, and I'm just hanging over. Sure not to lock the knees out or feel any strain on the knees. Taking some full breaths. Good, and slowly using the wall for support, making your way up. One hand on the forehead, other on the back of the head. Maybe bringing the arms up, maybe they touch the wall, maybe they don't. Bringing the hands into prayer, still here with you. If it works for you, coming right on down into the chair. So here we have, again, some nice support, 90 degrees behind the knees. And I'm really allowing the back to just rest. Maybe even the palms are up. You can really feel as you breathe into your whole torso, feeling that back body against the wall, breathing. Good, and once again, lengthening out, pressing my hands into the wall. This time a little more active. So maybe I'm lengthening the arms and the head. Slowly rolling up. Again, you can kind of enjoy yourself and take your time. You can kind of bring your head up, bringing the arms up above. Bringing it into the heart and then coming into Tadasana. So as you come into Tadasana, mountain pose, you can be against the wall. You can kind of see how that feels. You could have the legs together, a little apart, lifting tall. Feeling some support maybe. Good, and then from here, get daydreamy with my breath. All right, so let's go ahead. If you can see from here, my hands are up against the wall, right? My forehead in, and then I am walking the feet out. And so you're looking for keeping the forehead on the wall and the arms up, the shoulder blades going down the back a little maybe. And then you can keep adjusting to where it feels right for you. Allowing the wall to help you lengthen, create space, flexibility, comfort, and strength. Good, and just coming away, walking the arms down. You can slide them down or you can just walk them down. So we kind of looked at this. I'm just going to march in place a little bit. We saw this when we were laying on the ground and we were pressing the arms forward. Well, here we are actually doing that. And what does it maybe look like if you walk your arms down, right? Looking for that 90-degree angle maybe. My legs are hip width apart. Even though I'm opening, I'm still engaging my core slightly. So if this works for you and is appropriate, maybe taking that right leg, looking at Virabhadrasana 3. So we saw this with bird dog. And if you feel wobbly, press into the ground, press into the wall. Coming down, if you need to take a break, please do so. Maybe bend all limbs. And then lengthen all limbs out through the crown of the head. Again, engaging the bandhas and the core with that left foot lengthening behind you. You might feel muscles you didn't know would turn on if you have support aligning you. I laugh because that's where I'm going with it. Good, and then bringing that down. We are walking up. Opening. Good, from here, let's go ahead, bring the arms down. Shaking the arms, walking in place a little bit. So, different ways to go. Let's just start with a long T, chest against the wall. You are walking your feet towards your left. Keep going, and what's lovely is you will definitely let yourself know when you are there. Good, and just going to the other side, walking the legs over to the right. And again, staying close to the wall. You could even rest your head on the wall. Good, and just coming all the way back, forehead on the wall, and just bending at the elbows, bringing them in, just pausing here. Bringing the elbows in a little more. And all the way down. Good, and just go ahead, marching in place just a little bit. So let's look at tree. So with tree, you could just have one hand on the wall, starting off in a very tall position, lengthening the legs. I sometimes will bend the knees, let the tailbone drop, engage the bandhas and core. I'm going to take this left leg and draw the foot in. So even though you have the support of the wall, think of the foot pressing into the thigh into the foot, lengthening up, one hand at the heart. Of course, you can always bring your hands together, but if you feel like you might wobble, keeping it there. Now here's an option, and I'm not sure if I did this, so you may need to move, of course. Bring the knee in and just hold the leg. All right, so we had it with the arms, so looking at Virabhadrasana 3 with the foot into the wall. So if I come back a little bit, sort of look at your prints on your mat. Once you get it, like with bird dog, it might be really helpful and informative. Just a thought. I'm keeping one hand on the wall, the other hand on my hip. Good. And just coming out of it, I'm bending both knees and I'm taking my time, bringing that leg in again. And then just going back and forth, marching in place a little bit. works for you, bending the knees, just circling around, going the other way. Good, and we'll go to the other side. So because my wall that I'm using is here, I am going to stay here, starting off in mountain pose, balls of the feet, maybe flare the toes, tailbone drops, hands are at the heart. Exhale. Good. And just go ahead and bringing up this right leg, having some support, maybe the foot to the inner thigh. And again, if that's not comfortable, having it down at the calf or the ankle, just staying away from the knee joint. The foot into the thigh into the foot, lengthen. Can have a drishti or focus on a point that is not moving. And then bringing that leg back in, maybe holding on to it, letting the bone come back to neutral in that thigh, and then reaching out. So again, just getting a sense where it feels like it's lining up for you. Have the support for variation on the Vajrasana 3, Warrior 3, hands on the hip. Breathing into the leg in the back. Good, and just coming all the way back in. Good, maybe bringing that knee in again. Marching in place a little bit, and if that worked for you, bending the knees and circling around. Good, coming up to standing, shoulders up to the ears, squeeze hands, letting some of that effort go. Inhale, letting it go. Let's move into Warrior 1 at the wall. So you're going to go ahead and take your left leg, your toes are touching into the wall, and your back leg is behind you with the toes open. And now, depending on how your hip feels, you can have heel to heel, or you can have this back leg open a little more to your side. So here's a nice idea, if it works, is once you're comfortable here, maybe pressing a little into the wall, rotate the bones, allowing the shoulder blade to go down my back as I rotate the arm bones. And you could walk your hands up, Virabhadrasana 1, sinking in, what a nice way, I think, to let my body figure it is out where it is in space without also having to worry about balance. If you want to bring both arms up or one arm up, you could try there. I'm going to keep both hands on. I really like this experience. Good, and lengthen that leg, turning the back toe towards the front toes and just coming forward. Now, even though my head is against the wall, I'm putting most of my weight in my hands and arms. It is giving a little nice stimulation to the crown of my head, but again, the weight is in my hands and arms and legs. Good, bending both knees. Coming into oak tree. And then walking the legs together. Again, getting ready for the other side. Squeeze and release. Good. So as we bring the right leg forward, the left leg is going to go back. The knees are coming forward, or the knee, I should say. And again, feel free, use your hands. I'm enjoying even closing my eyes, getting a sense where I am in space. Maybe walk walking the arms up, allowing the arm bones to open down through the shoulder blades, even as I lift up. Good. As you're ready, always feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Taking the back leg, the toes are turning towards the front feet and also going towards the wall. So as I walk my head down and my body down, again, even though my head is touching the wall, the weight is in my arms and legs. You can also go down further. Good, and then we're just walking. We're gonna move right through oak tree, bending both knees. And walking the legs together, maybe marching in place. Let's just go ahead with the legs together, hands in front of you, inhale, open. We're gonna dive forward in sun salutation. Inhale up. Exhale down. Feel free to bend the knees. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. And then back into heart. Coming into warrior two. So opening the legs wide. Let's start with star. So even though I'm not leaning against the wall, I can still feel it there. And you can decide how close you want to be to the wall depending on your circumstances. If you know balance is off, you just have that there. You can kind of work with it. But if you start to feel like you're tumbling, you can go right back in there. You can even have your hands down in star if that's comfortable. So as wide as you're comfortable, we're going to start with the right leg. I'm not mirroring directly like I usually do. I think that's going to get a little too disorienting for everyone. But so we're bending that right knee. We're lengthening out the legs. And if you're comfortable, you can bring one or both arms off. Good, moving into side angle. You might again just hold on to the wall as you come over. If you have a block, using the block underneath of you or bringing your arm on the top of the thigh. Good, and just coming all the way back, lengthening that leg, lengthening that arm. Let's just go backwards. Again, feel free to hold on to that wall or sit back if you need to. Coming all the way back up. As you come back through star, pausing here, going to the other side. So we are opening up the left leg, we are opening up the arms, and again, feel free to rest if you need to, and then maybe working in at some point. Could also get more engaged with the legs, but keep your hands. Notice I have my wall here. Good. You can come right into warrior two as you're ready. Virabhadrasana 2. I should note my back toes are in, and I'm going with a bit of an angle at the hip. Again, this is seeing what works for your body. Good. We are bringing that left arm down, right arm over. Breathing through the side. Good, you could have your hand down. Good, and just coming all the way back up. Toes are forward. Bring the shoulders in and let it go. Walking the feet and the arms also jump them into. I'm going to be looking at half moon. So many variations. I will bring a block over just to show an idea. You don't have to. So again, with the wall, the same idea of going into it. How I usually go in with half moon is I make a little tripod around this foot. And so as I'm coming back, I might just sort of see, where's that wall? You'd like a little tape measure. All right, there we go. So once you're hooked in, if you want, you know, a block, you don't need a block, that's okay, of course. Find your focal point. Now the beauty here too, because I have two walls I'm working with, I could get close enough to the back wall, and if I felt like I was falling, it would kind of catch me a bit. This can also be lower. I'm going to come out of it, but just to show you, this could be lower, knees could be bent. Coming on down, making sure your joints feel okay though. Coming back in. I'm going to slowly roll up, bringing the arms up. Exhaling back into the heart. So going to the other side, you're going to see the back of me. Making a tripod now with my left foot, having my block nearby. I am taking the right leg behind me. And again, I don't feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and play with this a little bit. You can just imagine someone saying, it's almost there. But you're looking for sensation, not pain, nor a locking out of the joints. All right, so from here, again, if you have the wall, as you work with this, you might, if you've always wanted to work with half moon, but felt like, I have the flexibility, I don't know, I don't have the strength, I don't know. Here's a great way, you know? You can support yourself with the wall, you got one hand there, bring the arm off it. I can definitely feel a broadening in joint areas coming down because the wall is holding it for it to lengthen and not have to completely worry about balance. I shouldn't say worry, but be focused on that. Good, and slowly rolling up. Inhale, open. And exhale. Many options as we go into fan. So you could have the block nearby. You could open the legs wide. You could start here with hands on the hips. And then as you come forward, you can really feel your sits bones walk up against the wall, the bony landmarks at the bottom. You could walk your arms out in front. And then you could, you know, keep playing with it. Gut into the balls of your feet, maybe. Good, and just walking your feet in. We're coming into Malasana or squatted prayer. So again, with the wall and having a block, I find this to be super healthy, but again, everyone is their own personal preference. If coming all the way down does not feel comfortable, nothing worse than being like, everyone else looks so comfortable and this is painful. You know, you could just be up here. A nice sumo wrestler pose. So if you have your elbows just nicely into the thighs, hey, this is pretty nice. And if you are coming down to Malasana, maybe sitting on your block, You could have 2 blocks. You could have a few blocks. Feeling your back resting. You could have your hands to the inside. And again, you could continue to make space. Good. So from Alasana, we're going to keep going. We're going to remove the block. Keep resting against the wall. Bring your legs out in front of you and just feeling the support of the wall against your shoulders and arms. We are going side to side. And then just letting your legs be heavy, going side to side. Circling the feet. Circling the other way. And we'll come up into Dandasana. So with Dandasana, staff pose, but again, you have the wonderful wall supporting you. Good. Pointing, flexing the feet, pointing and flaring the toes. So here you are. Maybe bring the chin in, hands at the heart. And especially if you feel like you often have tight hip flexors, tight lower back, well, here you can just breathe right into the wall. Feeling that support. Good, letting the arms and legs be heavy. Let's go ahead and cross the legs. You can always sit up on a block or also find another comfortable seated position. So first, just start resting here. And then maybe with that lengthening, like a beautiful golden cord at the top of the head, lifting you up tall, you're going to look over your right shoulder. Coming back to center, going to the other side. So again, always if you're fatiguing, give it to that fatigue maybe. And then joining in again as if you had a golden thread, a golden cord at the top of the crown of your head, lifting up, chin drops, floats in, and just allowing yourself to rotate around the other side. You can feel that left shoulder sinking in. Good, and coming back to center, we're going to get ready for Shavasana. So moving the props out of the way, making sure you have space. You can definitely go back to legs up against the wall or some type of other support we've done with the wall. So as you come down, I'm going to go ahead and bring the knees to the chest one at a time, circling the legs around. Going the other way. Exhale, squeezing in and let it go. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, letting the jaw go, the body sinking in. Option 1 is having the legs up against the wall. Option 2 is letting the knees flop in. And option 3 is going ahead, making sure you have space, letting the legs come down. You can have them as wide as you'd like, the palms in, maybe rolling the shoulders back, maybe feeling where the pelvis would like to be. The hands can rest on the lap or not the belly. They can open. Staying as you are. I'm just going to sit up so I can talk. Feeling the support of the ground, gravity, your body here on earth. Knowing the more that you let go, you won't go anywhere. If it works for you, maybe feeling the sun high above you. And this beautiful sun rays melting away tensions and worries from your head and your face. Tension and worries off your throat and neck and shoulders, melting off. And beautiful sun rays moving down the arms and fingers. Stress just melting off for now. Beautiful sun rays softening the heart and the internal organs and down through the torso and back and nervous system and spine. Melting tension away and allowing more freedom in breath and being. Sun rays moving through the pelvis and the legs, all the way down into the ankles, feet and toes. feels welcoming, that extra space allowing for sunshine and light to flowing in, bringing health and wellness, hearing your own voice, feeling comforted and safe. You are welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. If you are ready, bringing the sunshine with you and connectedness to the ground and yourself. Breathing in and exhale. Wiggling the toes, rubbing the thumb across the fingertips. Rolling on over to one side. Using your hands and arms to help you sit up. Coming into a comfortable seated position. The hands can rest at the lap or the heart. I'll end with the sound of Om. Feel free to join in or just listen. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti Om. May we have peace, peace, and peace. As you feel ready, slowly opening the eyes, finding a point to focus on and bringing in the room. And namaste. Thank you for coming. So thank you for joining in with this Yoga at the Wall. If you have any questions, always feel free to be in touch. And I hope you have a good day or evening and where today finds you. Take good care.